Hello. Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you're keeping sane. Happy weekend to you all. Yeah, as the title of this video would suggest, I owe a lot of people an apology. I'll start with just you guys, people who sort of follow, support the channel, watch the videos and such. And also, more specifically, I think I want to apologise to the people who reached out to me to sort of make videos, to collaborate, to do sort of interviews, podcast type content. Come on to that in a minute, but obviously I've not been around for a bit, and anyone who's been with the channel for any length of time knows that this isn't uncommon for me. I do have a tendency to disappear, but as always, I feel like I need to apologise. I need to owe an explanation, and also just off the back of that, I do want to talk about gambling, as is so often my way. So I'm also sorry to the people who reached out to me. I had a couple of conversations with a couple of guys who wanted to get involved, do interviews, podcast type content. I still do want to do that, and I know I've sort of basically been radio silence my end, which I can give you the reasons why, but it's still not really very fair to people who've taken the time out to approach me. Annoyingly as well, in that period, I got approached by the BBC to be part of a radio show talking about gambling, and I never really responded to them, or I started responding, as is again so frequently the way, and then sort of disappeared off the radar. So that's a bit of a missed opportunity there. I will be reaching back out to the people I've been talking to in due course. Obviously, it might be that in the interim you change your mind, don't want to be part of it anymore, and that's totally understandable. Where have I been? Well, I've been doing life, haven't I? Thankfully not life inside. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I say, I've made so many of these videos now, but I feel I have to, because some people might use my videos as even a tiny part of their recovery, and the idea that I sort of disappear for weeks at a time or whatever. I really hope doesn't do those recoveries any harm. The solace I take is that there's hundreds of videos on the channel. I've been doing this for a long old time, and hopefully you'll find something on there that will help. But this ultimately is a passion project for me, and as with life and with anything in life, quite often the sort of serious stuff, keeping a roof over your head, keeping food on the table and such, has to take precedence. I've started a new job, basically because I panicked. I know I made this big spiel about how I wanted to sort of start doing more stuff for myself, working on YouTube, the other channel, doing more sort of side hustles and work, focusing on business and bits and pieces. If I'm honest, I sort of panicked a bit. Being a recovering gambler, it's not like I've got tons of money behind me to sort of fall back on. So I panicked, and so I'm now working full time again. My stepdaughter, she's just been doing her A-levels. Good luck, and hope it went well for anyone out there who either themselves or have kids or grandkids or whatever that are going through that. Hope that all went well for you. But yeah, that's required a lot of my time, my support, more for my wife, to be fair, than for my stepdaughter. But that's taken precedence, and the YouTube thing has sort of slipped, and it made me realise like how sort of 1 or 2 days of not doing videos can very rapidly turn into 1 or 2 weeks, and 1 or 2 months, and how quickly the time passes. And that's really, if you want to get something sort of out of this video, sort of related to addiction, or to related to gambling or anything like that, and it's how quickly, when you get out of the habit of doing something, that days and weeks and months can rack up. And actually, the most obvious example of this is if you choose to get into recovery. Once you make that decision, if you focus on the old adage of one day at a time, then those 1 days will very quickly add up to multiple days, to multiple weeks, to multiple months, and then to years. But I think also, most importantly, a habit, and this is basically pretty obvious, but it's something I forget quite a lot. A habit is basically just doing the same thing over and over again. It's not any big grandiose gestures, it's not any massive singular actions. It is literally just doing or not doing the same thing over and over again. And this can be applied, like I say, to gambling. Just, recovery is just not gambling day after day after day. That one little thing, not gambling that day, repeated again and again and again. But you can apply it And this is actually quite useful if you're, trying to um, move away from a harmful habit. Maybe you can find something in your life that actually you don't hate that is more productive. Now, I always talk about going to the gym because once I force myself to go there, I actually enjoy it and I actually get quite a lot from it. And it has obviously the health benefits, but also the psychological benefits and the benefits of feeling like you've achieved something. Um, but going to the gym, and spending 3 hours in there and basically doing everything to fail until you can't lift your arms, right? That's not going to do you any good. All right. What's going to do you good is literally just going for half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever, day after day after day. In the same way that getting out of a bad habit and recovery is not doing something over and over again, forming a new habit is literally just doing the same thing time after time after time. And now the first few times, particularly with something like going to the gym, and if you're anything like me, the first few times you really have to force yourself. All right, you have to actually just almost push yourself through that door of the gym and force yourself to do something. You'll find yourself clock watching. How much longer have I got to be in here? How many more sets or reps, or how much longer on the treadmill have I got to spend before I can leave? But you force yourself time after time after time, and eventually it becomes a habit. And dare I say, in some capacities, you may actually end up enjoying it because you will start to see benefits. You will start to see, like I say, physical, psychological benefits. Now, I'm talking specifically about the gym here, but this could be about anything. It could be about reading. It could be that you want to learn something, learn a new language or a new skill or whatever, and you find yourself something on Spotify, or you find yourself a course, or you find yourself a set of books or whatever, and you force yourself to read or listen or learn for an hour a day. And the first couple of days, maybe you're not that interested in it because you're progressing really slowly, like learning an instrument. You're progressing really slowly. But if you stick at it, and if you force yourself to do this uncomfortable or not overly enjoyable thing time after time after time, you build a habit. And once it becomes a habit, you can then actually start to reap the benefits of what you're sowing. But in the first instance, the way I want to relate this to gambling is purely the one day at a time analogy. It's cliched, and I spoke about cliches in a previous video, but if you can change your habit and just not do that one thing today, and then not do that one thing tomorrow, that is the start of a new habit, the habit of not gambling. And you'll very, very quickly realise how soon those days and those weeks and those months and those years add up. And I wish you all the best in that. As for me, once again, just want to extend my apologies to everyone who has reached out to me, but also to everyone who supports the channel in whichever way that is. I will try and come back. I'm not going to say I promise to do this because, as everyone who follows this channel or has done so for any length of time knows, I'm notoriously unreliable. It's not because I don't care, it's just literally because there are things that I need to do before I can actually undertake the things that I want to do. And I'm sure pretty much everyone out there will resonate with that in some capacity. But until then, enjoy the sunshine, stay safe, stay sane, and I'll speak to you all soon.